Hello Minecraft Hub, this is TheOutcome5 and I am bringing you today I guess you can read the title, but it's the cautious guide to mine exploration. I've been trying to mess around with the name a bit because I keep wanting to call it like the smart guide, but then I feel like I'm telling anybody who doesn't follow this guide that they're stupid, and I'd never want to tell anyone that because, I mean, this is a game where you can do what you want. Therefore, there's no right and wrong way to do things. So, actually, I keep getting ahead of myself with this. This is a guide for how to go about exploring caves and other natural phenomena, or mostly natural, with, a bit of less confusion, without getting lost, just doing things more efficiently in my mind. And if you're like sea nanners and you're all about the combat, you're all about being lost, then this probably isn't for you. But if you're like me and you don't like being lost and you really don't like combat that much, you'd rather avoid it and just explore, then this is probably for you. So as you can see here, I fell into a monster dungeon pretty early on. You can see in the roof where I was originally, fell through right about there, died because it wasn't lit, and then I blocked it off from these and cleared out the place. Unfortunately for me, this monster spawner had no wall right here that I built this wall. So this was a dark path, skeletons were coming through it, and they were mingling with the spiders. Luckily for me, skeletons and spiders don't get along so well, they fight each other, and so I just kind of took advantage of when neither of them were fighting, or when they killed each other off basically, and then kind of swooped in there and sealed it up. So doors are a good way to isolate areas that you want to use a lot. If basically use doors when you want like a panic location, like you are being chased by a lot of things and you want to get away and you need to make sure they won't follow you. Doors are probably the best way to do things, but really there's not a need for doors very often. So you're going to want to make sure your path is well lit. For me, there was like I think a creeper blew up right here and it made a hole in the ground. I didn't like that, it's not natural. It was a pain to jump over, so I filled it with stone. You'll see a lot that I fill things with stone, cover things with stone often, and that's so that I can tell where I have been, what's made by me, and what's made by the environment. And I was very unlucky, I guess you could say, because there was another monster spawner, and this one also didn't have a wall, so these two spawners were feeding into each other. Luckily, I got them both taken care of. Done deal. So I decided to go this way. And this room originally is a large, oval, like staircase kind of room, like an amphitheater. And I restrained it, and you can see all the walls that I've built, to be just this little narrow path. I think it'd be easier to me, and you'll see a room later. It's very similar to what this room originally looked like, and I will point that out. So here you can see something that's a bit unique. I don't see many people doing this. This is an artificial wall I built. There's a path behind it that you can see. I don't like building the walls all the way up. I just need them to be tall enough that enemies can't jump over them. The reason this wall exists is because beyond this, there's a path that goes down quite a ways. I went down there, I lit it all up. I took the resources and it's a dead end, so I went back, closed it off, and then regathered my torches. So that way I'm conserving torches, and there's no reason for me to go back there, because I've already taken all the resources out of it. This wall just divides things so that it's a bit easier. I know this way leads to my door that leads outside. This is all natural. It opened out into a cave. And this is the way deeper into my mine, which I made this part. This is a man-made mine. I guess you can call it like a mine shaft. It's not really a shaft, and it's just random. I just went down and over and turned and did crazy stuff. And I fell into this portion right here, where you'll see another man-made wall. I went that way, explored it. There were a few, things that I could gather, and came back, blocked it off, gathered the torches. That way I'm saving torches. This right here is what that room earlier looked like beforehand. And I might do the same thing in here, where I just make it one path, put up ladders, and then come out right about there. Makes things easier for me. Just wall the rest of it off. It keeps things tidy and saves me time. It's not very resource efficient, but saves me time. So anyways, guys, you'll probably notice that I did want that torch there. You want to keep everything well lit. And you know, when you're going through somewhere for the first time, I think you want to get to a point where you're pretty sure that monsters can't easily get to you. Like, for example, there was water right here, so I think I put my last torch down right here. And then I turned around and I was like, okay, is everything all lit? And I went back up here and I made sure everything was lit, and then I continued to proceed further. You might want to put up a temp wall to do that. Just put up a wall like right around here. Make sure that no monsters can get to you while you're going around. And that was also the time where I'd go and gather the resources in the area. I don't like being jumped by monsters. I don't like being killed while I'm mining. So that's what I do. I put up a wall and I basically isolate an area that I know is safe and use that to gather the resources and make sure the area is well lit. Another temporary wall right here. And as you can see, this wall was almost all coal and iron. So I dug it out, and then I just filled in all the level ground. I was removing that piece of cobblestone to see if there was a hole underneath, because usually I don't fill things up all the way. I just, you know, will put up one or two, you know, I'll level out the ground so that it doesn't appear that there's something underneath. Now, as you can see right here, the torches are a bit more sporadic than they are elsewhere. They're very close together, and that's because I haven't really explored this area yet. There are usually a lot of skeletons and creepers roaming around this area, and I've not explored it yet. If you go this way, which you can see torches over there as well, that will come out over there, and it's for exploration purposes. Definitely, like, when you're lighting an area, make sure that it's well lit. I think I've said that about 4 times now. But really, make sure that your torches are very close together, so that, not like every square, but you got all the angles covered, so that you're not going to get jumped, you're not going to have things spawning behind you. And then on your way out, on your way out, that's when you're going to want to go say, okay, which torches do I really need, and which ones are superfluous and can I remove. Another big thing is look up. Always look up. If you can't see the ceiling, get to a point, light things to where you can see the ceiling, because there's a lot of times where there's like higher ledges up there that you don't really see, and they're usually pretty covered in darkness. Like over there, there's one that I've blocked off, but they're very annoying to deal with, honestly. Is this the way I came? I don't believe so. No, it goes down. Like up there, I believe there. I think a creeper fell on me. This is my second take because stupidly I did this the first time and forgot to record audio. So this is take number 2. Creeper jumped out from that ledge onto me and blew up, and luckily I didn't die, but it still it surprised me a lot. As you can see, Painkiller Already starts in 15 minutes. So, lava. I suggest for lava that you try and build around the lava. I know there's a lot of people that just like get out their stone and they're like, okay, I'm gonna make a path across the lava. I really can't advocate that, because lava is very valuable. Lava doesn't come across that often, and even if you see like this is a large amount of lava, if I were to start collecting this, if I take one bucket out, then all the 6 around it will most likely flow into it, and that means that I can't collect any of those 7 squares now. That's not always the case, but it happens quite often. And so you really want to keep lava in its natural state and keep it how it is. I don't know if I mentioned this time already or not. You want to block off water whenever you see it, or at least I do, because water tends to flow in the direction that you don't like. For example, right now it's towards lava, so should I like open my inventory and step towards that water, I'm now pushed into the lava. It tends to take you where bad things are. And so I always block it off. Don't like kill it, just block it off a bit. And as you can see, I'm looking around the area right now, making sure everything's well lit. There aren't any dark spots where monsters can spawn, but I'm not overlighting either. Overlighting is not a great thing, not something that we want, because it's not very resource effective. And I believe there's something else that I forgot to mention that's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't get there. Oh, so you want to keep one path. You know, you want to keep things tidy. You want to keep things to where you can easily navigate without being confused. And as you can see right here, the path splits into two directions. I don't know if how close you were paying attention, but I went that way and I came out this way. So the whole thing circles around. But really, try to keep one path at all times, like a primary path. And we're going to make our way back now. And so if I had just come through this cave, right now would be the time where I'm going back. I'm looking at my torch placement and seeing, okay, which ones can I pick up, which ones should I leave, and which ones are actually like well placed. Because there's a lot of not very well placed torches. This area could be kind of shady, but I'm not really worried about it. It's close enough to lava that it's not a big deal to me. So you want to be looking for torches that can be picked up, can be salvaged, I'll go as far as to say. And I believe this is my unfinished path. Yes, it is. So here we go. I'm going around the lava rather than through it. Let's see. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Yeah, let's go right here and then go forward. Now we're on the other side and we got some iron. So let's see, I'm trying to not say the same thing a bunch of times, so I'm like saying something very similar but different over and over again. So you want to keep one primary path, but just know that the paths that you're blocking off, the other paths, the non-primary paths, are still available for exploration. You're going to want to make sure that you mark your explorable paths differently from the dead paths. And usually what I do, as you can see right here, is that I keep them lit. I keep torches on the other side. I can tell that they are lit. And let's go check on our monster friends. Yeah. I don't know why on this world I'm on normal difficulty, but there are a ton of monsters everywhere. And you're going to want to make your escape route fairly noticeable. So, I mean, as you can see here, usually my exit routes are very close to artificial walls, I call them. Barriers, whatever you'd like to call them. They're very close to that, so if I keep walking this way, I'm like, oh, this isn't the way out. Okay, let's go this way. And sure enough, this is the way out. The final tip I have for you guys as you watch me trek back is that you want to try to keep your exit route, the way back to your shelter, your house, whatever you'd like to call it. And here's another example of that. Just looking this way, you wouldn't really guess that there's like a staircase right there. So you have the wall that way, so that means I can't go that way. I'm going to go this way, and sure enough, my stairs are kind of hidden here. But they're there. So you want to keep the way back to your shelter primarily going up. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice that I don't do a very good job of that. It does go up, of course, but there are a couple like hill type areas in between that I kind of don't like being there. So that means that, you know, you're going deeper into the cave will usually go down. And as you can see right here, that's not true because I'm going down to get back to my shelter. But that's a good general rule. Just in case you guys are wondering, I just keep this path here because it leads to a monster spawner. I don't see monster spawners very often, but since they give me this nice convenient room, I may as well use it for something. It'll probably eventually be a storage room. So anyways, guys, that will about wrap it up. I hope I wasn't too repetitive in this video and that it does contain some useful stuff. If you'd like more of this, of course, just go ahead and ask. And this is a very nifty world. I might be featuring it more on the hub than I thought. This was originally for TNG. I can never get the name right. But this is a very nifty world, as you can see. And I'd like to cover it more with you guys who I know really will immerse yourself in Minecraft. So guys, this has been TheOutcome5. Peace out.